Well, we'll let you start right away.
Okay, perfect. Well, my name's Christine Bullock, and I'm the Director of Workplace Learning Connection. I spoke to you all last year. This is my second year with Kirkwood. You probably heard from Lori Warden for a number of years before that. I think she's really enjoying the retirement gig. So today I just want to give you an update on our services that we've had, especially, we were kind of coming out of COVID last year, and now I feel like we're really, back in business with the kids, getting some great experiences here in the county. And then also the budget requests that we have for next year. So our team actually servicing Benton County has grown. We used to have 3 people servicing the county directly out of our team of 16, and now we have 4. So that includes Laura Miner, who covers Iowa and Benton counties, Sue Neal, who's a school and business liaison, Megan Lehman, who's our work-based learning coordinator that primarily works with the Kirkwood Academy students, and then Tanya Carone, who is another school and business liaison. And the goal of our department, as you all know, is to provide the one-stop point of contact for work-based learning experiences for our schools and our businesses, to help make sure that it's not the school with the most connected teacher or most passionate principal getting access to businesses, or businesses trying to find on a website a random teacher they want to connect with. It really creates efficiency for both sides of the partnership. And the way that we approach these services is starting in 6th grade with introductory classroom speakers. We want kids to hear about all types of careers so that they're not thinking the only thing that they can do or know about is what their parents did. Whether that's their parents have, a high school degree, a 2-year degree, a graduate degree. We want students to see all different types of careers so they can really decide for themselves. And then when they do training after high school, they're more likely to stick with it and to have something they're passionate about. So we start in the very exploratory phase in that 6th through 8th grade. And then we go into more specialized programs where we have classroom speakers in the high school level, but the students can pick what they're interested in. Or here coming up, we have a career fair that we're going to cover all different kind of 6 career clusters, where students can go and talk to businesses they're interested from across the county. And then students are able to do job shadows and internships. Our job shadows are 2 to 4 hour experiences, and our internships are up to 90 hours for students in their junior and senior year, once they've really kind of decided that they want to make a deeper connection with the business. And those services are outlined here, but another one that I didn't write down on this slide today is we have a really exciting new partnership here in Benton County specifically that's unique to Iowa and Benton County. So the state of Iowa has a program through the Iowa Department of Education where there's operational sharing dollars. And you may have seen the rural schools are very well versed in this. And some districts share superintendent or curriculum director or transportation director. Well, now they have provided dollars for schools to share a work-based learning coordinator. And so we had Benton Community, Benton, Shellsburg, and Williamsburg reach out to us that they wanted to really ramp up their work-based learning experiences for the students. And so the state is providing each of those districts $15,000, and then Kirkwood is cost sharing the other half of that. So we're able to dedicate a full staff person now to just those 3 districts, whereas the person that used to do that was shared across 7 districts. So it's really helped us to kind of even provide more customized service to those districts, but also free up some of these times for the other districts in Iowa and Benton County areas that they also see the benefit of that. And where that's kind of helped us, we started this position for that in the fall and really been able to help expand our team is looking at the 2020-2021 school year. Even that was kind of, especially in the rural counties, they were opening back up to businesses. But we saw from schools that they really want to have kids doing more job shadows and more opportunities to do that. So this year we decided to have 3 opportunities for students to apply for job shadows versus 2. And you can see that we've had about a 43% increase in 1 year of students doing job shadow experiences. We have some schools here in the county that they're at 100% increase in the job shadows that students are doing. Internships, this isn't including who we'll have for the summer yet, so we're about on pace for that. Internships are a little bit more of a challenge for businesses to commit that much time or students to have that much interest, but we really see that students get a great benefit out of job shadows as well. And then our event participants are on track by the end of the year once we put all of our 8th graders through financial literacy fair to have the same But for job shadows, we really saw that we had some students that they'll sign up that their first choice is a funeral director and their second choice is an orthodontist. So they really have no idea what they want to do, right? And we see that a lot in 10th grade. But then by the time they're getting to their senior year, they're saying they want to do a day at Kinsey. They want to do a day with a local welder. And so they've kind of like tailored it down more. You can kind of see that growth. So we'll have students by the time they graduate high school can do up to 9 job shadows. And this is a breakdown of where we were specifically in Benton County last year. So we had 96 job shadows last year. I believe in Benton Shellsburg alone this year we'll have about 70 job shadows. So I think last year Benton Shellsburg, for example, had 12 job shadows. So really we're building more of that infrastructure of our point of contact on our team is directly connected to the schools. And it's really helped now that the superintendents are even getting more engaged. You know, here at Benton Shellsburg, he's involved in the meetings with our staff person and the principal and the teachers. So they're really helping to build that culture. And so this is up significantly from the fiscal year 21. This is supposed to say fiscal year 22. And this will be, I can see these numbers being even higher from this year. And for some data that we have from students about job shadows and internships, every student that completes a job shadow or an internship does do a survey afterwards. And consistently we see that it provides a positive impact on what they're choosing to do after high school, what courses they're choosing to take. They're more aware of local career opportunities, and it's positively influenced their decision to live and work in Iowa. But the really exciting stat that we have from our interns, this bottom number here, we asked all of our interns if they were hired on for additional employment. That could have been directly the next day hired on, or some students, for example, if they're seniors, that they might come back after their first year of college for an internship. 41% of students were offered additional employment. Before COVID, that was right around 15 to 18%. So it's really a good return for those businesses when they're looking to invest in students. And we even have now some businesses that are the ones that consistently hire these students are now wanting to do apprenticeship programs. You may have heard that Kirkwood is doing a CNA apprenticeship and a welding apprenticeship that we're just getting started full working this summer. And here's some pictures of some students doing some of their job shadow experiences, or this here on the right, we had all 9th graders go through a Career Inspire event where they explored 6 different career clusters. We really think it's important for the students to be out in the businesses as much as possible, and we're really thankful that the schools are helping to make that possible. So here, why I'm here today is this should not say that there was an increase. So I don't know why that says that. It'll be the consistent ask from last year. So last year I came and said that we were doing our funding based on 2020 census data, 10 cents per capita. And so that was showing that there was an increase in the population, but it's going to be the consistent funding from last year. So that should not say it's an increase. I'll send you Haley the correct number on that. But it should be the 25, 75, 50. Yes.
People.
Yeah, I think the form you filled out was right.
Okay, yeah. So that 1950 was an increase from the fiscal year before. But it's not that. And where that goes towards is our budget is just over $800,000 for our department, and we're very fortunate that we have a cost share from all of our county boards of supervisors funded at the same rate. We have Kirkwood puts in funding, Grantwood, AEA puts in an amount. The districts pay a per student fee for our services. And this year especially, it's been really, really valuable to have this. The governor, you may have heard in her State of the State address, is consolidating some of the departments from 30 plus down to about 16 to 18 departments. And so the funding that we were granted from the state every year was about $96,000. And that was in the Department of Education. Now they're switching that funding to Iowa Workforce Development, but they're not sure if they're going to grant that back to the community colleges or if they're going to use it for something else. So our counterparts across the state at the other community colleges relied solely on that $96,000 to fund their full programs, DMAC included, biggest community college in the state. And so when that funding goes away, their programs aren't going to be in existence next year. So for us, we're losing about $100,000 in funding, but with this cost sharing that we have with some districts now that brings in funding, we applied for some grants, so it's not going to change our services at all. And we might be the only group in the state that's doing this on a regional approach. So again, thank you for being, a shared investment in our team. And that goes to support primarily salaries, cost of services like materials for our programs, but then making sure really that it's equitable. Some other parts of the state have these cost shared positions with districts, but if they're only doing it with 3 districts and their whole region is 30 plus districts, it's not equitable across. And so we're trying to really maximize all of our funding sources to make sure that we're doing consistent delivery across our whole area. With that, any questions?
When they do the job shadow for, like you said, 90 hours, is that student gets paid?
So for some of them, they can. So
Can?
For the internships, they can. We have, but that's by business choice if they want to pay them. For example, some of our larger companies, for their insurance, they want them to be an employee of the company, and so then they will pay them. Most of our interns, they just get high school credit for it. Next year, we're going to be providing high school and college credit, so they could get up to 4 credit hours from Kirkwood for free for their internships. But we're really hoping to transition some of these interns, especially the welding and CNA right now, into an apprenticeship, and those would all be paid at a competitive $15 to $20 an hour in apprenticeship cost. So it's almost transitioning our internships as a business kind of trying out the student to see if they want to invest time. Apprenticeships can be anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 hours over the course of 2.5 years. So that's a commitment from the business and the student. So that's really great. We're able to see with these interns, okay, who really had a passion for welding, that we should push them into that direction. But to answer your question, most do not.
Any questions?
It's been this rate for, I think, all the time I've been here. 10 cents per head for population. So, yeah, which is quite a bargain. So, especially to see the numbers go up in Benton County, so, which is wonderful.
Yeah, if you were to think of people, the districts individually hiring, a full FTE to do that work, it's nice that we can do things a lot faster with our systems versus each school investing it on their own. Not to say that the schools, still don't have some programs they're doing on their own, especially for some students that might be like at risk. They might have some different programs that they can support, say, provide for them. But it's almost like then they can channel those monies towards those programs, and we'll take care of the more mainstream, larger group of students.
Cool. Well, I think she can count on us again this year.
Definitely.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming in.
And we appreciate, we've had support from many county departments hosting students. I know the sheriff's deputies, for example, have hosted a number of students for days.
We
So
haven't had any for a while. We used to have some get interested in some GIS stuff. I know I've done career fair before.
And we're bringing that back this year. It will be hosted, I believe, at Benton Shellsburg High School. And we're having Benton come in for that as well. All right, thank you. And you have the full form from me.
Yep,
So you're good,
yep,
okay.
and they all have a copy as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
So.
I remember TV Cox is coming in, those are on that Friday. Friday.
Thank you. Drive careful.
Stay warm.
Yes.
You have to shut up here.
I have it starting at 9:30. Well, I was starting at 9, but I didn't come at 9:30.
I started at 1.
Yeah, and I thought maybe I could get some more budget stuff or just wait and see what happens.
Okay, so get at the minutes.
Sure. I've got one I need to get a couple. I have one with a question and on the same set, a correction.
Okay. How about we do it by the dates?
Okay, that's fine.
Would be the easiest.
I don't care.
Which one are we looking on the campus first?
On the 25th, on the resolution for elected official salaries, the chairperson, I mean, as a supervisor, it's 51, as chairperson is to get a $5,000 stipend, wouldn't that be 56?
I took it off of, oh, yeah, you're right.
Instead of 55?
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you, Tracy.
Mine is, I think it was the other 1,000 and then it took it, yeah.
Yeah,
I know it is.
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
56, 64.
And then the other thing I'd like to clarify is I did a, oops, yeah, going through this salaries, et cetera, and trying to get the exceptions here. On my motion of 5% straight across the board, and then I separated some of them out. I have so many numbers on my thoughts here. I should have had Justin Berger at 90 rather than 85. Do you guys have an issue with that?
None whatsoever.
Okay,
So
I
you're
botched
amending-
it.
Because he was at 85.
He was, yes,
Okay,
yeah, which made it stupid to make it
what it was.
what it was.
So I'll change that and then the amount on that.
Correct. And that's all I saw on the 25th.
Okay, so, all
That a motion to approve the minutes with corrections.
right. Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That worked,
Okay.
I hope.
Yep, and if you want to do the other two more, maybe.
Good, good. I didn't see anything wrong.
On the other two,
The 7th and 30th.
yeah, I didn't see anything there. Did you guys?
No.
I make a motion, can we approve both of them?
Yep.
I make a motion, we approve the 27th and the 30th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
thank you.
Any report?
Well, I think I reported last week on recap, can't remember. Well, that was because we had a meeting on Wednesday, and that was Tuesday night. If I may report about the inquiry on snow removal for out here at the
Okay,
service
yeah,
center.
yeah.
It was stated that, you know, they didn't show up till after 8 o'clock. And I think if that was the snow that they're referring to before this past week. When I called and talked to Terry Martyr, he said, yeah, that'd be the snow that started at 7 a.m.
Okay. Yep.
Pretty hard to
Yep.
get there before it starts snowing.
Yep.
So, and that would also explain why the delay was with the sidewalks.
Okay.
I think early on, we had talked about remove snow, you know, like in the parking lot if it was 2 inches, but I think that's when it was gravel, of which, you know, you're gonna just tear up the gravel.
Yep, yep.
I don't know if we need to get redirection on that. Common sense, I would think, would rule.
I would say so.
But that's what it was. He said he had another business in town asked the same question. Why was it 9 o'clock he showed up? Because he finally about 9 o'clock they had enough snow to push.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
okay, and read.
yeah, okay. All right. Hi, Barb.
How are you today?
Yeah, upright. That's a good thing.
And has a blockage in her widowmaker.
You gonna finally find it, and so,
One daughter.
Oh, really?
you just got
Terry.
it today
Terry.
then, or what?
Okay, I thought you said Terry, I'm sorry.
You just call it?
Yeah, she has to go in and get it Lindsey Brown and they'll put the skin in
She's been doing this for how long now?
about 3 months. It's terrible.
Sorry, that's awful. She was very,
Oh,
Yeah, you look like a concerned mom. I
it
mean,
is
Yeah.
just,
Wow.
so they're gonna get her in right away.
they're trying to get her as soon as possible. We gotta get her on blood thinner. Because if she doesn't get on blood thinner, she'll clot.
Yeah.
And that could be dangerous. It's
Right.
just,
Send thoughts and prayers that way.
just, we've been down this road.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, finally found it.
Yeah.
I know I kind of reported to you guys on that legislation stuff. It's Senate Bill 1456 or whatever. So it's going to the Ways and Means Committee today. I'm hoping they don't make it retroactive. Because I know there's townships that already have budget meetings, so it'll change all everybody's values. I'll just keep you posted as I know more on
So what are they actually trying to do? Like, you know, put it in layman's terms, will
that.
you?
Yeah, so. Yeah.
Since we have a couple minutes.
So the gist of it is the residential rollback would be reduced. It was 56.49% down to 54.65. So that will make our taxable less, which we would want more obviously, because it would collect more off the taxes. So it has to do with the taxable value of property with that multi-residential and other classifications. So they're trying to do like a tier.
Valuation
Yep.
tier, yeah, I read part of that. yeah.
So like our software will have to get updates as well, so if they make this retroactive, then we have to wait for our software to get in there and do what it needs to do for the calculations. And then we'll have to go through the process to review our valuation reports, amend it, and then I'll have to let all the entities know. But yeah, it could potentially affect the city's TIFs, all those different things that we projected. So fingers crossed, but if they do pass it, then they will have to give us an extension on the budget deadlines.
Well, I've seen some of that value
Yeah.
tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all new.
Software,
but that, I thought that was
you would have
all.
to pay for that?
No, that the encode, that would be part of, they have to keep up with the changes.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of counties that use this software, so they're already been communicating with everybody too.
I thought that valuation tier was on all commercial properties, not
That
just
one is,
multi-housing.
but this particular legislation proposal has to do with the residential.
Because they're doing away with the business tax credit
Mhm.
and going to a valuation
Yep,
thing.
so
and
if it's over
Is that with
150,000.
commercial property, that's what they're doing?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just like, Christ's sakes, why don't you just leave stuff alone?
It's, yeah, I mean, it's just, it's like we're all in the middle of our budget time, so it's like, why would they do this to us currently? Because especially with the maximum levy notices,
Yeah.
That,
if people have already published, then it's gonna cost counties to republish and just,
Uh-huh.
so,
so they're looking at residential tax now too, in this
yeah, because it affects the rollback,
rollback.
Yeah.
yes. So
Residential.
our
meaning
taxable could be
Multi.
lower than what we anticipate.
Oh, just multi-family
Multifamily
residential,
residential.
not
It was
single
applied
family?
at the regular
Yeah.
rate, and then they wanna change
That's
them
what
all.
I read it.
Yeah.
Multi,
Yeah.
okay.
Because that was hence commercial.
Commercial, yes.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
But that could be a lot.
it just,
it could, yeah, it could
This could-
definitely.
Could be a lot.
sometimes just leave stuff alone, it'd just be better.
There's something on today, otherwise, initially, they said they wouldn't make any fine, we wouldn't know until like February 10th, so. Fingers crossed.
Well, that's all I had in the report, sir.
We had the EMA last night, Gary showed up for that. Set the budget, I guess. The biggest thing, or a couple of things, was over the tower. Talked quite a bit on that, the new towers, new radio system. And then this bill that they're trying to get through the same way, House File 146, which would make it a taxable entity, the EMA. That they would be on their own, they get taxes to be supported instead of a supervisor
Right.
supporting them, so.
So basically, what they would end up doing is taking the levy and they get a percentage of that, just like it's a school or a city or whatever, you just have another
Yeah.
line item.
Because currently, we fund that out of the general supplemental now.
And so in theory, it should
It's still
just be,
tax dollars.
yeah,
The only change it would be is a supervisor would have nothing to
nothing to
do
do
with it.
with it.
I'm all for that.
They would have to
Yeah.
set their levies.
And that's kind of what they're going towards with the ambulance service. and-
Yeah, that's what they wanna get
For
done.
the essential service,
Well,
But
essential,
no-
that
yeah.
would be ambulance and fire,
Yeah.
correct?
but they're unsure if they would do like, I don't know, the auditors would probably do their fiscal budgets or whatever. But my concern would be how is that gonna be divided out? Because right now, we don't follow ambulance boundaries or anything to separate those valuations, so
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if those counties that did pass it here recently, let them kind of experiment, go forward, and then we'll learn from them.
For sure.
I think there's just a handful now that it'll be in place.
Do we have, with Mark and Bart, the land use, do we have one of those in here?
Our sanitary land use budget should be in.
Sanitary,
Yeah.
okay, all right. All right, but I thought we'd gone through some of that already. Okay. This is it.
Okay, Mark, Barb,
Okay. We asked for a little time on the agenda this morning just to discuss a couple of things that are relevant in respect to your actions last Tuesday with the salaries that you voted on. Obviously, I think everybody knows at this point you voted 7% for elected officials and 5% for the non-elected. And basically, that brings to mind a question with our budget. We submitted it to you with the 10%. The only reason why there was a 10% in that budget was because we had no clue where you were gonna go in the direction of salaries. Last year, we were surprised, so to speak, as far as what happened. We didn't have enough in there, so it was a matter of going back and making those changes. Where we're at now is my question at this point is basically are we sticking with those numbers? And is that what we're supposed to put into our budget and make the appropriate changes? The reason I'm asking that is because I heard a discussion last Friday, basically, that you might be saying that we should just go ahead and make those changes in our budget. If that's the case, I wanted to know about it here so we can basically get it going, get it done with. The other question that I have is basically in respect to those numbers, and I'm not bringing this up to be critical of anyone, but I'm just trying to understand what rationale was used by you as a board to determine that those numbers were the appropriate numbers when there's a difference, which last year you didn't do. Everybody was treated the same. Just trying to figure out what was the rationale used to determine that the elected should be 7%, the non-elected and other folks should be 5%. Was there discussion concerning any of that? I didn't hear any of the discussion the day that we came here to hear what action you were taking. I told you this, Tracy, we walked in a little late, couldn't get off the phone in time to get here. But basically I didn't know that there was a motion 7%, and I thought the motion was that everybody was going to be getting 5%. So I guess, like I said, my question is what were the considerations to determine that part of the workforce were 7% and part of the workforce is not worth 7%, not only, but worth 5%. The other question that I have along that line is that a couple of years ago, and I think that was you, Rick, who made that comment, you didn't want to cherry pick in respect to wages. This year there was some cherry picking, obviously.
No, I didn't.
Well, when the motion was made for 5% for the non-elected, there were differences in respect to some people, and so that appears that was cherry picking.
Oh.
And so my question is then, what discussion led to that? Were there considerations given for various things that, how do you determine the worth at that point of some of these positions? That's my question. I've always been about this for all of these years is that we go into this with no guidance, we prepare a budget, and then there's these differences and whatnot, and I've always wondered what are the relevant factors that are considered to come up with these differences. Not saying anybody's not worth whatever you came up with, but the point is how do we determine that worth? What factors do you use to determine that worth? And, you know, in most circumstances, we talk about certain things like performance based on an evaluation. You did an evaluation this summer, and it sounded like that evaluation was pretty good as far as I could tell. So is that a consideration when we talk about differences in what employees get? The other thing would be is in respect to that performance based on an evaluation, maybe longevity. How about, do we discuss the duties that it takes to do that job? Maybe even the degree of difficulty of that job. In respect to land use, which is the subject today, I think you guys well know land use is a pretty difficult process. You're not happy with some of the procedures, I get all of that. but in respect to what we have and how we have to do it, it can be a very difficult process. So are things like that considered when we're talking about the wages? That's where my question's at. Basically is how do we determine this work? I don't know that you even discussed any of this, and if indeed you did, I'd be interested in knowing how you did come to some of those determinations.
Okay, during the work session, we discussed that.
Okay?
Okay, you can see Rick was 5% across the board.
Yeah,
I look at it that my phone I had 3 phone calls already today during the meeting that just started 38 minutes ago.
okay.
I deal with everybody in the county from anywhere from roads to property taxes to everything. I have to deal with it all.
I get it.
Okay, that's my point of view. The girls on all their offices upstairs, the same way. They're elected officials that cost them money to keep their jobs. That's extra money out of their pocket. All right? So that's where they have to deal with, not as many maybe phone calls. Well, I shouldn't say that. They deal with different kinds of phone calls. Haley does. Your elections, how many phone calls you get on your elections during election time? You probably could have somebody sit there all day long answering questions during election.
Okay.
So that's where I come up with this, the dealings with me. Well, I feel like, I don't need a raise, and that's stipend, if I can get that off the books, that's fine with me.
Get what off the books?
The stipends that he's.
The stipends.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not critical of that, I'm just asking how you determined it, because it kind of sounded like you were going the direction that you just mentioned, that there's other, what do I want to say, that some people are doing more work than others, and I didn't know how you determined that.
No, well, some departments do for dealing with the public.
Yeah?
As far as the ones that were singled out, in our work session, we talked about, and I'll use IT for an example. When he was hired to do basically the courthouse. IT has expanded where they took on the service center, they take on the secondary roads, conservation, and the GIS. And so, his original job did not include all that stuff. So it does now, and it has over the years been kind of thrust upon him. He is looking for additional help because we're looking for him to maybe take on the sheriff's department for the IT. Be nice to have everything all under in-house, if you will. So that's an example. Some of the secretarial type people, personnel, that was due to recommendations to kind of do some equalization. We've done some equalization
County
in
Supervisor.
years past in other departments.
Yeah, my name's Jessica, and I'm calling from Construction and Demo Recycling. It's a free trade journal I have going out to Edwin Brecht as the chairman at Benton County Sanitary Landfill. Just want to do a quick update today so that they can continue to receive it. For quality of my call may be recorded. I do have Edwin at,
Yeah.
it says Benton County Courthouse in Benton, Iowa, 52349. But what is the main address's building number?
That is way outdated. Ed Brecht is no longer a supervisor.
Okay, and who replaced him?
Another meeting.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a meeting, but, is this something you can call back later on?
Sure, no problem. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, yeah.
Telemarketers on that line too.
So it goes.
But yes, and so that's where I try to separate those individuals out to get some equalization. So, and we've done that in years past. as far as, yeah, as Tracy indicated, I was 5% across the board. I did not vote for any difference
I know.
between elected or non-elected.
Yeah, I know.
So, my opinion, that just causes issues. So, and we have not only the non-union personnel, but we have 2 unions that we're gonna be working with as well. So, all this affects it
Will you be revisiting those issues?
as they come up.
Okay.
That's how I would anticipate that. I think, is it secondary roads is up now, isn't it?
June 30th.
It is
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. So, yep.
So then, in respect to that, you've answered my questions in regard to whether or not it was discussed, or you did, and, so are you planning to, stay with those numbers then? As it was voted on?
For me, as of right now, yes.
Then you expect us to change the budget numbers to reflect those numbers and get that to you later?
And that's a
You
fair
want us to-
question. You brought this up, are we gonna have each department in it, or are we just gonna basically, like now, say, all departments need to adjust their budgets, which would be kind of a simple thing, to be honest.
I generally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have.
we usually I ask them to, rather than leaving that cushion one way or the other, so that we can fine tune it.
Well, that makes sense, you know, this is a public meeting,
I adjust it. send
if
it
we
to
would
her.
ask them to
I
adjust
kind
their
of make
budgets
notes through the
accordingly,
meetings
I see no harm with that.
and reach
I don't
out.
either. You know, it's the ones that, I guess where I'm leaning on, the ones that do not wanna adjust, we can adjust their total dollars then.
The bottom line.
Yes.
And how they spend it, if they short other line items in order to get their budgets through, or their wages through, you know, I guess.
Well, that's an option. I mean, we've always been a good steward of our budget. You know this.
Yeah, I don't think that's a wise option,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't.
and I suppose we could basically say in our budget adjustments that we're adjusting the line item for salaries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could get right down to the nitty gritty. So, which would make sense. Yeah. Which is
Well,
what
that's
you've
what
done.
I do.
Yeah, which is what you've
I've
done
always,
time and time again.
yes, I
Yeah.
adjust it and get it to her so
That'll
she
go.
doesn't have to.
So it's not just the salary, they have to tweak their
I will-
holdings and.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, I make it right and
Yeah.
get it to her.
Yeah, I realize it's a domino effect, you know, so, with FICA, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions?
So with that high, then, and that's what our budget's gonna be for land use. And then I'll get that to her.
You're looking at the wrong person. I was at FICA. I
That is
was and
true.
still am.
That
So
is
you're looking at the
true.
wrong person.
That is true, you are.
Which I was criticized because it also included my grandson. But I don't know how the heck I would have separated that out. That'd just been asinine. So,
Well, I guess then all I can do is thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
thank you for
visiting
coming
us.
in.
Yeah. One more thing.
Sounds good. Nerve-wracking. Are they letting me?
Right now, but she's gonna get on board with it, you know.
if you guys want to go through the back of those,
Back,
those ones that
The
allocation amounts, and you just have one of them signed, and then I'll, if you're gonna approve, like the Kirkwood one and those,
that's fine.
some of that stuff, if you're gonna keep those amounts. You wanna use my copy of that? Right, because what I wanna do is send back to those entities that you've approved or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we don't have to do that, just if you guys want to adjourn or whatever, but just
No,
trying to,
I wanna take a second run through these. Some of them haven't been here yet,
Right,
the only
Katie-
one,
right? Katie
Big
has,
Cox isn't the only one that's coming in.
okay.
Otherwise, I.
Kate Roberts has been here,
right.
that's $100,000 she's asking for.
So that
Okay,
was
so are you okay with this? Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah,
Page, or
Yeah.
item by item?
yeah.
That way I
let's do
know
that.
what, because that's the amounts that I put in right now, or what's on your form.
Okay,
Okay, are you okay with that, Gary?
Yeah, I guess.
okay, the next one is a question mark. Riverside, Riverview,
Riverview has requested an amount of $4,000.
Because originally, we never paid that large with them
What was the amount last?
before. We
I know
did,
last
Never
year we
paid
didn't do anything.
Yeah.
No, we have taken them,
2 years ago we did,
yes.
and it was.
We didn't pay them anything last year.
Because we were told,
So have they changed their,
so I guess we did pay in 19, 5,000, take that back, so that is reduced. And then in 20, we paid them 6,000. But that was before we had that start change or whatever,
Okay,
which was 2080.
so what was that first amount? You said
5,000,
Five, then
Fiscal
we
year
went to
20.
6.
and then we went to 6, and fiscal year 22, we have not given them.
Right.
So now they're asking
For 23, 24, yes, at 4.
actually, we didn't pay 22 or this, well, we're currently in 23, so we can decide yet for this year, but fiscal year 22, we gave them that.
Correct.
so what are they gonna use the money for?
They came
They
and
were in
presented
here.
to us, Gary.
It's for like
yeah,
the
it says
sexual
right there,
assault.
how many percentage do they all help, that's why I felt obligated to.
Yeah, they give us statistics this year.
In the past year, 5 children, 17 adults in Benton County received services. 32% are definitely able. I don't know what that means. But anyway, it goes through those with percentages. So I don't have a problem. It's less than we've done in the past.
Okay,
It's,
I agree.
if they don't perform, the next year we do like we did this year. Don't get them in.
I agree.
So I'm good with the 4.
Okay, you're good.
All right.
Put that one in there, because I'm putting that one out of the local option sales tax.
Okay. And this was the Benton County volunteer, the next one.
And I have no problem with that either.
And those are the same amount.
Belle Plain Community Center, what you got next?
Yep,
Okay,
I have no problem with that one either.
all right. What, did we do that one? I'm sure we did before.
Yeah, with Wayne Friesen, he just didn't come this time, but it's the same 7,000
It's 8,
or 8.
yeah.
Is that-
They gotta replace the dishwasher.
Yes, sorry, but normally it was 7, so.
Okay, and I understand, those things are expensive.
The only one I think of, pay cap isn't.
Correct.
So, and because I do want to ask for clarification, because before we gave that additional 10,000 for just help paying. She didn't
Right.
put it on there this time, so,
Yeah, I don't know why, it's
yeah.
not been discussed.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you're good with that?
Yep.
All right. How about East Central Iowa Housing,
Yep,
you good with that?
yep,
5387?
Yep.
Okay. And there's or you have benefits with that. You know, a lot of these have got, you know, a lot of bang for the buck.
Well, yeah, when you hear what they actually do with it, it's like, wow, you know, just like Kirkwood, you think about
Yeah.
that little amount we provide,
10 cents per,
that what they
per
do.
person, yeah. And Kirkwood is the next one. Are you good with that?
Yep, I am.
Or Gary?
Yeah,
We're gonna hold off on hay cap so we
Yeah.
can find out
Yep.
what's
If we
going
save
on
that
with
at
that.
10, or if I leave it as is.
Yeah.
And talk,
You're gonna hold with 80 as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, good.
So those are the other two, but at least the other ones I know for sure with amounts to be in and that.
Mhm.
I'll, print those out and have you sign another copy next week, that way I know that you approved those ones, so I'll do the rest.
see, and then the last, you got one for Easy Cog.
Easy Cog isn't that just their
That's just
report?
our allocation
I
amount,
thought
yeah.
that's all that was.
If, if you wanna continue using their services, if that's just kind of a must.
Historical.
Preservation.
Historic
Yep,
preservation, 6,800 on the next total budget.
yep,
Any issues?
nope, good one at all.
Good with it?
Yep.
I think that brought us to the end of the book.
Yep, it did.
Okay, so that was simple.
Yeah, I was looking back through and I can't think of any that unless they start trickling in, so.
Sure.
I usually Persian a little bit in some of those, like the miscellaneous ones, just in case there's something that we forgot, or like a subscription or something that you guys need.
the ones that haven't come in yet, where are they gonna?
We have makeup next week, and then Virginia Day is coming on. That's that Friday meeting we're in. We'll be next Friday.
Nothing else, sir.
Yep,
And then we have
Did
Farm Bureau.
you have reports?
I give you
That, what
EMA.
Okay, got it.
It's just that that was kind of long last year.
Yes, there was.
I was like, I heard her talking, I'm like, if you're going, no sense in me going too.
Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.